Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now being recorded.
Okay, this call is now being recorded as usual. Make sure you can hear me because I'm talking very slowly right now because I want to test the new microphone system. I hope you can hear me lah. Okay, so I think we can start the class right now. All right. So if you see the presentation, I want to show me the presentation first. All right. Okay. Now, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So, before we start the class for today, I would like to announce some things now for the class. I would like to thank you for those who are already update their a little information lah. I need to know how do you want to come to the school lah. So I want to ask you whether you know these two friend of yours, Chiang Keshuan and Fong Yuming. I think I'm unable to contact them lah. You know your friend here, Chiang Keshuan and Fong Yuming. Okay, because your friend here, two of your friend here from one Alpha didn't update the information that I required them to do. Okay, only 26, only 26 of 28 update the information. So if you know their whereabouts, and then you know, please pass the information to them. All right, because in the contact list, in my contact list on the Telegram group, got their name, but unable to contact them. Okay, make sure if you know them, please pass the information to them. All right, to update the class information as soon as possible. Okay, and make sure, please. Right, and then for those who are already update the information by using the Google form, I would like to thank you lah. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay. If later we have another, please make sure if I have any announcement, right? Any information that you need to update for our class, make sure you try to try to do it, try to finish it as soon as possible lah, because it is what we call to update the information, the latest information, because sometimes the school need your information as soon as possible by using the Telegram, by using the internet. Okay, but I think maybe next month, not next month, next week, after the school holiday, no problem lah, because you all come to the school. Maybe there will be a less problem lah, because you all come to the school. But right now we are using the internet as a medium, and make sure you always look, always check, and always look at your Telegram group for any update or information on our school. Okay, not just our Telegram group, but also maybe on our official Facebook, school Facebook as well, right? So we have here, if we look at the calendar here, I will show the calendar. Right. Okay, if you can see the calendar right now, today is 22nd of March until 26th of March for 1 week, and then we will start a holiday, school holiday, starting at 27th of March until 4th of April, and then we will all be going back to school 5th of April 2021. Okay, So we have another 1 week for online classes, and then another week for a school holiday. And then on the 5th of April, we all come back to the school. Okay. So maybe I hope you are ready lah. Okay. To come to the school, all your preparation, yeah, the clothing, and then all the stationery. I hope you are ready. And then starting from Friday, Perak status for PKP is already turned into PKPP. PKPP mean pemulihan. Maybe there is the decrease in case lah, the decrease in case in COVID, and then maybe more what we call economic sector is open. Okay, but please be reminded. Please remind always. Make sure you always wear your mask, especially when you come to the school. Okay, wear your mask and then practice social distancing. And then if you have face mask, make sure you wear one of the face masks when you come to the school. Okay, I hope everything is okay lah. When we all come to the school next month after the school holiday. Right. I think there is no other information. I think we can start the topic right now. Yeah, as usual. Like I promised you last week, we are going to learn a new topic for today. Chapter what, class? Still remember what chapter we're going to learn today? I think in chapter 4. Yeah, chapter 4 is reproduction. Let me show you the table of content first. Okay, can you see the table of content here, class?
Yes.
Okay, right, very good. So we are still in themes number 2, yeah, maintenance and continuity of life. Okay, or we are going. We learn about the basic function of living things. Living things such as what? I already told you many times, including us as human, and then animal and also plant. Okay, chapter 2 already finished, and then chapter 3, make sure you understand what you are already learned in chapter 3 about our coordination and responses, and then the homeostasis. Make sure you understand homeostasis, and then the example of homeostasis, not just in human but also in animal and plant. Okay, but in human and animal, you already learned the process of how to control the water content, and then the temperature inside the body. Make sure you understand that. All right, and then what are the important and everything else. And then also make sure you understand what is the system related to the coordination and response, and then what the organ involved also. Okay, and then chapter 4. So today we are going to learn about chapter 4, but mostly there is no what we call experiment here. Mostly we are going to learn about the theory side of the first system you learn in human. Okay, chapter 4, you are learning the first system in human. You still remember the system? If you still remember chapter 2, the organization of cell, starting from the cell, and then from cell to tissue, and then from tissue to organ, and then from organ to system. So the first system you learn in Form 1 is reproduction system. Okay, they are consist of how many subtopics? They are consist of what we call, they are consist of 7 subtopics. Okay, we are not just learning about the human reproduction system, but after human, we are going to learn about the plant reproduction as well. Okay, so the 4.1 sexual and 4.1 is the introduction of what we call the reproduction, and then 4.2 until 4.6, 4.2 until 4.6. Okay, 4.2 is until 4.6. We are learning about the what we call the human reproductive system. Okay, and then 4.7, maybe a very short topic. You will learn about plant reproduction system. Okay, 4.1 4.1 only the introduction of the reproduction system only. Is it okay? Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, make sure you can see my presentation, yeah? Right. Um, okay, so chapter 4 is the last chapter for teams number 2 before you're going to teams number 3. Okay, teams number 3, I think we can start maybe 1 or 2 weeks after the school reopen. Okay, because teams number 3 we are going to learn about chemistry, exploration of element in nature, or we're going to learn about the non-living things. Okay, right. So before we start, I want to show you a video. I want to run it for a while. Okay, and then you tell me whether you can hear the sound, all right, or not. Okay, I will try to run the video right now because this is the first time I try to run the video on the Google Meet, right? Okay, I will start right now. Can you hear the video?
Yes.
Okay, I will start from beginning. Okay, the video is only 3 minutes long, so just watch the video first, right? Okay, we're starting from now. Okay, thank you. Right.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write...
Okay. So welcome to where? Welcome to life. Right. So that is the short video introduction on what we are going to learn in chapter 4, reproduction in human. Yeah? But later on, after we learn the reproduction in human, we will learn the reproduction in plant. Okay, so reproduction is a very, very important process in living organism, not just in human. Can you hear me? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, not just in human. Yeah, I will continue. Not just in human, but in all living organism. Okay, important process, basic necessity, important process of all living organism. That's why you need to learn it. You need to learn this in Form 1, because this is the basic things of human, the basic process of living organism. Okay, because we are what we call a living organism. We are not what we call live forever. Okay, we need someday we are going to, when the days come, we are going to be, we are going to die. Okay, so we need to, in order to what we call to maintain our generation, so we need to reproduce or undergo reproduction. Okay, for example, you are the children, the daughter and the son of your parents. Okay, and then your parents is a son or a daughter from your grandparents, and then this is what we call a generation. We want to maintain the generation. Okay, we want to maintain the what we call um, the generation to generation line. And then maybe when you become adult, okay, you are going to marry, and then maybe one time, maybe 10, 20 years from now, okay, you're going to marry and having your own children. Okay, this is reproduction. Okay, very important things. Last time, for this chapter, you're going to learn in Form 3, but the new syllabus, they what we call take the Form 3 chapter and then they put it in the Form 1 syllabus. Okay, I think you are very well aware of this. Maybe some of you, maybe you look at this topic as very, not appropriate lah. But we are in science, yeah. There is nothing inappropriate about science. Okay, you must open your mind, and then you must open your mind and then accept this as a knowledge. Okay, accept this as a knowledge, and not something that is not something that inappropriate. Okay, can you understand me? Okay, maybe you are going to learn about the reproduction human in male and female, and then the human genitals. Okay, the difference between male and female. That is what we call. This is the the what we call we want to get knowledge, the pursuit of knowledge. Okay, it is not something very lewd. Okay, bukan apa orang panggil apa yang lucah lah, not something that is, kalau orang Cina panggil apa ini. Okay, I don't know what to call it lah. Ini bukan hamsap punya lah, ya. This is what we call to pursue the knowledge, only on the sake of knowledge only. Okay, you must understand this. And then at 13-year old in Form 1, I think you are open enough to discuss this. Okay, because you are growing bigger. You are growing. You are not kids anymore. You must remember that. You are not what we call small boys and small girl anymore. You are 13 years old. You are not kids anymore. You are now teenagers. Okay, can you understand me? You are now adolescent. Adolescent mean what? Okay, you are not kids anymore. You are what we call growing into teenage, And then teenage is between what? Teenage, adolescent is between children, small kids and adult. So the transition in this stage of life is very important for you, right? 13 years old, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 is a very, very crucial and important stage for you in life. Because you are growing, you are becoming adult. You want to transform from boys, from little boys and little girls, from the children to adult. So this stage is very, very, very important for you. Okay, can you understand me? Huh? Please be a bit open-minded and then not what we call accept this as a knowledge for you to gain the knowledge. Before this you didn't know, and then after this you already know what is happening on your body, what is happening on your own body. Okay, so this is the introduction for today topic. So I just go straight to 4.1, sexual and asexual reproduction. So we have what we call by first. Okay, first you need to understand what is the meaning of reproduction. Okay, so it is process of producing new individual from living organism. Number one. Okay, what is meant by reproduction? We want to create new individual from living organism. This is what we call reproduction. Okay, because we are not immortal. You know what is immortal? Because we are, maybe eventually we are giving up, we are all die. Okay, maybe in human it's about 80 years old or maybe 70 years old, the people or the human will die. So in order for us to continue our legacy or to continue our survival, we need to reproduce, not just human but others animal as well. Okay, for example yourself. Okay, you are the children of your parents, and then your parent is the children for your grandparents, and then the generation is maybe about 100 years, 200 years from many years ago. Okay, that's why we need to reproduce. Okay, it is what we call the basic characteristic of each living organism. Basic characteristic of each living organism. Yeah. For example, the human reproduce by giving birth. This is the way of reproduction. Yeah? Human, what we call give birth. Chicken lay eggs, and then whales giving birth. Okay, this is the way of reproduction. Okay, so next one, number 2, reproduction can be divided into sexual and asexual reproduction. So we take a look what is the difference between sexual and asexual. Okay. Number 1, what is the word? The word, you must understand the word sexual. Sexual mean what? If in the form, okay, if you write in the form, there is a section called sex. Sex. Sex mean what? Sex mean gender. You must understand this. It is not something that is inappropriate, right? Sex is gender. Gender mean whether you are what? Plus sex. Mean what? Gender mean whether you are what?
Female.
Huh? Female, yes, female or male. There are only two gender, class. There are only two sex, whether we are female or male. I do not want to, joking about others than that. But in science, can you understand me? I don't want to talk about others than that, Okay. But in science, there are two sex, or two gender, whether you are female or you are male. Whether the living organism is female and male. Okay. There is no such thing as you know, people, boys want to become women or that sort of thing. There is no such things. Okay, right. So if you look the word sex itself, meaning that it have two gender, whether it is female or male. So sexual reproduction mean it involves reproductive cell. It involves reproductive cell. Okay, reproductive cell from where? From both parent. Okay, if I said the word parent, meaning male and female. Okay, male and female. Do you still remember the type of reproduction cell? If you still remember in chapter 2, one of the type of cell inside our body is reproductive cell. Can you still can you still remember what is the reproductive cell? The name of the reproductive cell in human? For male, we call it what? For male, we call it
Sperm.
sperms. Okay, very good. And then for female, we call it
Ovum.
we call it ovum. Okay, these are the reproductive cell in human. Okay, male sperm and then female, we call it ovum. This is what we call by reproductive cell, right? So occur in human, higher animal, for example mammals, bird, fish, reptile, and amphibian. Highest animal, okay, meaning that animal that has complex system such as they have what we call the complex build. For example, mammals, bird, fish, reptile, amphibian. Okay, usually they are undergo sexual reproduction. Okay, and then for flowering plants. Okay, plants that produce flower usually involve sexual reproduction. Okay. Okay. What about asexual? A mean here, it does not involve reproductive cell. For easier for you to remember, asexual doesn't have female or male. Okay, it doesn't need what we call it not necessarily need to have male or female. Okay, maybe it can reproduce without the male or without the female. Okay, usually occur in plant, onion, ginger, and potato, and then the occur in simple organisms such as amoeba, hydra, and paramecium. Okay, including the bacteria and then the virus. They reproduce asexually, right? Can you understand this? This is the type of reproduction. Yeah, make sure you understand sexual and asexual. Any problem here? Can I continue?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Others also, yeah, make sure you can understand this. Okay, so we go into the example of animal or the organism um, that undergo sexual and asexual reproduction. I think you can read it for yourself, and it is very very easy, right? And then most of the animal are undergo sexual reproduction. Okay, and then for the simpler organisms such as onion, ginger, amoeba, and then all the microorganism bacteria are undergo asexual reproduction. Okay, so we take a look one by one, details about each of the type of reproduction. So we look at first one, sexual reproduction. Like I said earlier, it involves reproductive cell. Okay, reproductive cell in male and then reproductive cell in female. Okay, make sure you know the name, identify the name of the cell. Like I said earlier, your friend already told us, male is the sperm, and then in female we call it ovum. Okay, reproductive cell, right? Okay, so Male has sperm. This is the gamete. This is what we call the gamete. Okay, what is gamete? Gamete, you just remember class, eh? Gamete is the what we call the reproductive cell. Gamete, we call it reproductive cell. Okay, so for the male gamete, we call it sperm, and then for female gamete, we call it ovum. Gamete. Okay. Some people call it reproductive cell, but some maybe they do not call it reproductive cell. Maybe the word is quite long, so we call it gamete. Okay. If you find the word gamete, meaning that it is a reproductive cell. Sperm in male and then female ovum in female. And then produced in where? In male, the gamete in female, the gamete in male produced in testis, and then the gamete for female produced in ovary. Okay, and then the gamete for female we call it ovum. The gamete for male we call it sperm. This is the process of what we call the gamete production, right? Okay. Okay, next one. Sexual reproduction produce new generation that is different from its parent and show genetic variation. Okay, want to go into the terms first. Sexual reproduction produce new generation. For example, us. Okay, you are the what we call the children or the individual from your parents. Parents mean you have mother and then you have father. Okay, me for myself, for example, I also have mother and I also have father. Okay, new generation, but we are not identical copy of our parents. Can you understand me? We are not identical from our parent, from our mother, from our father. Okay, there is a difference that we call it genetic variation. Okay, what is what we call genetic variation? For example, the people maybe when they look at you, they say, "Oh, you have eyes from your mother. Your eyes look like your mother. Your nose look like your father. Your hair look like your mother. Your ears or the shape of the what we call the shape of the face is look like your father." So this is what we call the simplest explanation explaining genetic variation. Okay, this is the variation. Not everything physical on your father or on your mother are inherit to you. Okay, maybe certain characteristic of your mother, certain characteristic on your father will go into you. Okay, this is what we call by genetic variation. All right, can you understand me? Or maybe, for example, for my scale, my color of the eyes is inherit from my mother. The skin color, maybe the fair skin color of me, for example, inherit from my father, for example. Yeah, so this is what we call genetic variation. Okay, not exact photostat, not exact what we call a clone. Clone is very dangerous lah, yeah? Because exact copy, there is no exact copy. Okay, there is a genetic variation. All right, so what is the first process? The first process involves what we call fertilization. So this word you must remember and then understand fertilization. Okay, very easy. What is the fertilization? You just remember fertilization. We have ovum. Okay, I will try to zoom it a bit. We have male gamete we call sperm, and then we have female gamete we call ovum. Fertilization is the fusion between ovum and sperm. This is what we call fertilization. Okay, male gamete and ovum, male gamete and female gamete must fuse together, must meet, and then they combine together to create another generation. So what is fertilization? You just remember when sperm meet ovum and then they are combined together, they are fused together, that is the process of fertilization. Can you understand me? And then after fertilization, there will be new individual or new offspring. Okay? When there is no fertilization, there is no new individual. Okay? Fertilization only occur when sperm and ovum fuse together, meet together, combine together, then it will create a new individual or a new offspring. Can you understand me? So fertilization is the first process in making new individual. Or you want to make new babies, for example, sometimes I call it to make new babies lah. Must have both gamete, then it will create new babies. Okay, can you understand me? Boleh faham? Class? Now it's
Yes.
11:22. Okay, next one. So, in sexual reproduction, they are can be divided by two. Number one is internal fertilization and external fertilization. Internal and external. Nothing fancy about it. Internal meaning that the what? Sperm and ovum fuse together inside the body. Internal. Just as simple as that. You just remember inside the body. Where is the location? Later. Right? External fertilization means the sperm and the ovum, the sperm from the male and then ovum from the female will fuse together or meet together outside the body. That's all. Okay? Right. So take a look one by one. Happen when? Inside the body. Okay? And then for external fertilization outside the body. That's all. But internal fertilization inside the body of male or female, of course, inside the body of female. That's why female, after fertilization, the female will pregnant. Okay, for example, the human, the woman, the girl, after fertilization will pregnant. So where the sperm and ovum fuse together inside the body of female or male? Class. Inside the body of female or inside the body of male, the fertilization occurs?
Female.
Inside the body of female. Not male. Okay. Because in female, after successful fertilization, the female or the girl or the woman will become pregnant. Pregnant, later on we talk about the stage of pregnancy, right? Okay, place of fusion already told you. And then the process for internal fertilization, male gamete from the male reproductive organ will be released into the female reproductive organ, which has the female gamete and to fuse to become a zygote. Okay, and then for external fertilization, the male gamete usually swim towards the ovum and fuses with it, right? Okay, for example of species or example of animal that undergo external and internal. Internal usually mammals, insects, reptiles, birds. Okay, they are usually internal fertilization. And then external fertilization are usually fish, amphibian. They undergo external fertilization, meaning that if you can see from the picture here, right, the sperm from the male fish and then the ovum from the female fish will be what we call getting out from the body. The sperm and the ovum is they they release from outside the body, and then it will fuse. Okay, the X mark here, it will fuse outside of the body in the water. Okay, internal fertilization inside the body of female. Okay, need to use what we call the reproductive organ in order to send or in order to channel the sperm from male inside the body. Okay, there is a way, we call it must use the reproductive organ. Later on we learn about the reproductive organ in human. Okay, right. So next one, asexual reproduction. The second type of reproduction, we call it asexual reproduction. Without involving, very easy, without involving reproductive cell. There is no parent, there is no what we call male, there is no female. From single parent, okay, whether it is male or female, or whether it have no what we call gender at all, it will reproduce to become another offspring or individual. For example, amoeba, paramecium, hydra. Okay, amoeba, paramecium, hydra. If you still remember in chapter 2, is it multicellular or unicellular organism? Still remember? Multi or uni? Unicell or multicell?
Unicellular.
Unicellular organism, yeah. Amoeba, paramecium, hydra is unicellular, right? And then plant like ginger, onion, potato are also reproduce asexually. Okay. All right. You just remember only one parent involved. Okay. Only one parent involved. And then the fertilization does not occur. There is no such thing as fertilization in asexual reproduction because there is no gamete. No gamete, yeah. You still remember gamete? Huh? Gamete is the reproductive cell of male and female. Male gamete we call sperm. Female gamete we call ovum. And then when they fuse together, when they meet together, there is a process we call fertilization. But in asexual reproduction, there is no fertilization because there is no gamete. Okay? And then how about their identity? Okay? It is an exact copy lah, yeah? Exact copy meaning that it has genetically identical to their parent. Everything is same. From their parent, from the single parent here, everything is the same to the new individual. Okay, there is no variation. There is no variation, meaning that in sexual we have variation. You still remember the variation, the variety. Okay, you have the nose from your mother, for example. You have the eye color from your father. That is what we call variation. But in asexual reproduction, there is no variation. It is an exact copy, the photocopy from the parent to the offspring or the new individual, right? Okay, next one. I want to rotate this first. Rotate pages. Okay, so how many asexual reproduction you must remember? Okay, there are, I think, let me zoom out a bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5 types of asexual reproduction. Okay, the first one, we call it a binary fission, budding, regeneration, spore formation, and vegetative reproduction. Okay, so we take a look one by one. What is what we call by binary fission? Okay, binary fission, very easy. Division of single parent cell into 2 daughter cells. From 1 become 2. And then from 2 become how many class? 1 become 2, and then 2 will become
4.
2 will become 4, and then 4 will become
8.
4 will become 8. Ya kah? 4 will become 8, and then 8 will become
16.
Yes. Okay. Is it 16? Okay. So this is what we call by binary fission. Example of animal or the microorganism that carry the binary fission are amoeba, paramecium, and bacteria. Okay. You can Google. Maybe you want to find more information on YouTube or on Google. You just type in and then search the keyword binary fission. Okay, this is on your own lah. Right. So next one is budding. From the word bud, meaning that it can grow a new individual from parts of the body. Okay, forming bud on the organism body. Okay, for example, hydra and yeast. Okay, for example, you can see here there is a bud here, and then it will grow into new individual. All right, so we can cut this, and then it will grow into new individual. The parts that have been cut down does not die. It will create another individual. So the example of organism is hydra. Hydra, it will form new individual, and then you can take the budding and then become new individual. Okay. But you must also remember, remember also the type of organism undergo the asexual reproduction. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Okay. Next one is regeneration. From the word regenerate, meaning that when you cut parts of the body, it can grow, and then it can grow again into a new organism individual. Yeah. From the ability fragment. Fragment meaning that some part of it can be cut down, and then it will grow back into new individual. Okay. Example: flatworm, starfish, and planaria. Can you see this? If you cut the individual, you cut the living organism into two, and then it will form a new individual. Okay, and then you cut again into two pieces, then it will grow back into two organisms. So this is regeneration. Yeah, for example, planaria. Okay, you can search on the internet. Yeah, you try to find the keywords here. Maybe you can find the division or the regeneration of flatworm, starfish, and planaria. Right. Okay, next one is spore formation. Producing spores. Okay, there is spores is like a powder at the under the leaf, right? And then after the sporangium break, the tiny and light spore get scattered by the wind. When they land on the moist place, they will grow into new plants. For example, algae, fungus, fern, and bacteria. This is the spore. Spore is very, very tiny. It's just like a dust. Okay. Usually there is a pod when they escape the pod or underneath the leaf. When there is blow by the wind, the spore, because it is very, very light and then very tiny, and then it's just like a dust. When it lands into moist area, it will become another individual. Okay, this is what we call by the formation of spore. S-P-O-R-E. Usually what? Algae, fungus, fern, and bacteria. Okay, you can find the spore on the expired bread, roti gardenia, any type of bread, roti gardenia ke apa. After 1 week, there is a spore formation. Where the spore get there? By the wind. Okay, right. Okay, next one, last one is what we call by vegetative reproduction. meaning that the method producing new plant from a vegetative part, vegetative part of the plant, except the flower, okay, such as the roots, the underground stem, runners, bulbs, or leaf. Okay, some of the plant can take some part of the plant, some part of it. We can take the parts and then we can grow another new plant. Okay, such as carrot, strawberry, ginger, yam, and potatoes. Right? We can take the new what we call any parts of the plant, and then we can generate or we can create new individual. Okay, can you understand this? Is it okay? So I think I want to finish 4.1 first. So I can you hope you can stay with me. Okay, any question about asexual reproduction? Any?
No.
Okay, very good. So I think I want to finish 4.1 because this is very short. Okay, right. So next one, you can read it more information. You can take more information. You can read it for yourself about the sexual reproduction. For example, this is the vegetative reproduction. What are the parts that can be used to create a new individual? For example, from the roots, and then from the stem, right? And from the leaf, and then what is the runner? What is the example of a runner? And then the bulb, and then the underground stem, the roots, and then the buds here. Okay, and the leaf part, the leaf parts of plant. Okay, not every parts of plant can be used to generate new individual. Only the parts that I have been highlighted here. Roots from the stem, stem including the runner and the bulb. Got the example, the image here, the graphic here. You can refer. Leaf by using the bud, right? So next one, the importance of reproduction. Okay. Number one, increase the number of organisms. Okay. For example, our population 10 years ago is 21 million people in Malaysia. Example, many years ago, the population of Malaysia is 21 million. Now, what is the population of Malaysian? It is about 30 million and growing. Okay. Last time, maybe many years ago, 10 or 20 years ago, we are only 20 million people in Malaysia. But right now, 31 million. There is increase in what? The number of organisms. Okay. This is the importance of reproduction. We want to we want to create a generation that is want to increase the what we call the population of the species. Why? Because if they unable, if the organism cannot reproduce, it can cause what? It can cause extinction. Extinction usually in animal. In some, by what we call some of the wildlife or wild animals are subject to extinction because they are not able to reproduce. But in human, I think no problem. Okay, because the population of human is always increased. Okay, like I said earlier, right? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Malaysia only 20 million people, but right now we have 30 million people, meaning that our population is increasing. The human population, the Malaysian is increasing. There is no what we call no extinction, but not for wildlife, not for animals. Some of the animals are facing extinction because they are unable to reproduce. Why they are unable to reproduce? Who can explain? Why some of the animals cannot reproduce, class? Why you think they cannot reproduce? Number one, maybe because the number, the quantity is very, very low. They cannot find the mate. For example, the Malayan tiger in Malaysia. tiger in Malaysia, for example, are very, very, very rare. Maybe about how many? Maybe about only 100 or maybe less than 100 in wildlife, in the jungle. So they cannot find suitable mate. They cannot find the mate. Maybe the male tiger cannot find the female tiger. So there is, if they cannot meet each other, so there is no reproduction, and then cannot create new offspring, right? So that's why we call it, and in the brink of extinction. Human, I think no problem lah. You can find about others endangered animals such as what we call tiger, or the panda, or the kangaroo, not the kangaroo, the pandas in China. Okay. And then you try to find the others important of reproduction. Okay. Maybe in the point of what we call in human, in Chinese particularly, you want to what we call, we want to keep the name right. You want to keep the name from your great grandfather, a long 100, 200, many 100 years ago. You want to keep the name. Usually you keep the name male or female. For example, the first name. For example, I want to Yap Kai Wen. Yap name is from the mother or from the father? Yap Kai Wen, for example, from father, right? Yo Pei Wen, for example, from the Yo family. Yap Kai Wen from the Yap family, right? Chong, Chan Wei Jin, meaning that you want to to continue the legacy of the family from the male side of it. Okay, that's why we need to what we call organism. There is so many clan here, right? You have Chan family, we have Wong family, and then we have who else? We have Tan family, okay, and then Kong family, Yap family. There are many family that you need to what we call that's why we need to reproduce now, because we want to keep the legacy. We want to keep the name of the family. All right. But of course lah, in Malay also there is some family that they want to keep the family name, to keep the family name, so that it won't what we call stop right there, right? So maybe you can search more about it. Okay. I think the rest of the topic, maybe you can read it for yourself. For example, the importance of reproductive. We must be grateful the ability to reproduce, and the continuation as a gift from the God. Okay. Any question before we start? We stop here. Now it's 11:44. Is there any question?
No.
No question, yeah? Okay. If you have any question, you can read. You read first the topic 4.1. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask me on the Telegram group. Yeah. Okay. For the exercises for today, I will give you the instruction on the Telegram group. Okay. Is it okay? Oh, can Okay. So I think I will stop here. Thank you for your attention and focus. We will meet you again tomorrow, right? The class is on tomorrow or what? Okay, yes. We will meet again tomorrow, and then exercises I will give you after the class today. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention. You can leave the class now. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.